Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you a human versus human replay here on Twisted Meadows. Yumiko spawning as the blue human player here at what I'll call the 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Infi spawning as the red human on the top right hand side of the map as, well, yeah, red human over here, Infi. I don't quite know what I was saying, kind of lost myself mid-sentence, but that's all okay. Human versus human mirror match here on Twisted Meadows, game 1 in this series, as we are now underway. Taking a look at things so far, we are not speed building these Altar of Kings. It looks like both players are just going to allow the other player to militia creep out this very important Goblin Laboratory creep camp. Now, another side thing to note, unfortunately, there is not an observer view in this particular replay, meaning it's going to be slightly difficult to try and figure out what's going down. Now, I am quite surprised that there are no observers in a game of this caliber. Yumiko and Infi, two of the better known human players, not being showcased unless this was just taken from a Battle.net game or a War 3 arena game, and very, very casual. But hopefully these games will be entertaining as we are now already opening up. Let's take a look. I would be surprised if it was anything besides an Archmage versus Archmage mirror match, and that is exactly what it is here. Now, what are we going to be seeing next? Let's take a look. Archmage should be popping on out in the next 20 seconds or so. But in this human versus human mirror match, we can already foresee some of the things that are going to happen. Archmage, Footman to open. Players will probably be getting up that Arcane Vault after their Town Hall. And it's going to come down to a lot of casters. Casters are very, very effective units. As we see now, Militia making a move. What is exactly going on? Oh, the Footman now trying to pull this away, and it's going to Militia creep out this Rock Golem creep camp. All right, going to run by this Footman creep camp here. Oh, the Footman may try to hire up some additional mercenaries. Who's going to get it first? Yes, the Troll Shadow Priest was, in fact, picked up, and now we are trying to engage here. All right, that one poor Footman now trying to back off. Militia creeping out the mercenary camp, and the Archmage is already on his way over, booking it as quickly as he can, but he's not going to be able to do all that much. All right, Archmage now picking up the two very important items, Wand of Mana Stealing, which could be very useful in this matchup. You can see that the Archmage decides not to do anything there, as the Water Elemental is still off to the side. All right, Archmage sitting at level 1, not yet at level 2, as it did not finish clearing out that creep camp. Abolish magic on the Water Elemental, meaning that that is just going to be free experience if he tries to come back over. Very, very well played so far by Yumiko, as Yumiko now chasing Infi back. Let's take a look at that, just long distance fireballs, as that Footman does feel a little bit worse for wear and may have to be very, very careful how he approaches the next couple of stages. Archmage going to be, I believe, still a little bit shy from level 2 here. I think he's just going to be just a little bit shy, as we now see the Archmage going to perhaps try and Militia creep out this Rock Golem creep camp. Archmage is in fact shy by 12 experience. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Militia now rounding the corner and gonna go straight after this Mud Golem creep camp. All right, level 2 already on Yumiko's Archmage, as we see him now focusing down the Null Wardens and now going for that last Null Overseer. So far, both of the players opting to not engage each other straight up, hoping to get better items and get more experience. Vampiric Aura is extremely useful in the early stages of the game here, as Militia and Footman get just a little bit of extra health, but it's not going to be that useful later on. I wouldn't be surprised if the Archmage decides to sell it, but I would hope that he sells it after maybe 20, or after the Archmage gets to level 3, or he at least gets Sorceress or Spellbreakers, as we're looking at the Archmage now finishing off the rest of this mercenary creep camp. A new Troll Shadow Priest has been picked up. Militia now running all the way back, and we're going to see another engagement here. Vampiric Aura is on that Archmage, as double Troll Shadow Priest all the way, meaning that we are going to have abolished magic water elementals. That is going to be a very big problem, as the Militia and the Footman now trying to engage. Archmage now sitting at level 3, now makes his way over. Are they going to be able to push all these units back? It looks like so, and Yumiko is just absolutely dominating Infi right now. Infi has been trying to disrupt his opponent, only has one item, even though it is a very, very valuable item. The Claws of Attack +6 the Wand of Mana Stealing may simply be too much, especially considering the fact that the Archmage doesn't really want to drop Water Elementals, considering that it's just going to give more experience to this Archmage, at least until this Archmage, the Red Archmage of Infi, gets to level 3. Then the hit points will make it much more difficult to try and abolish magic, as there you go, there you see another slight engagement. The Archmage now looking to back off, as we are getting up, I believe, a second Scout Tower. Alright, keep still teching up here. Archmage may try to go to the bottom here and try and creep down this rock golem creep camp. Is he going to be going for exactly that? Archmage now making his rounds back off to the north. You see Footman, Troll Shadow Priest, and Troll Berserkers all working together. And this is perhaps a little bit of a lucky break by Yumiko. Yumiko knowing that he had the mercenary camp to himself and could perhaps just creep it in peace. Archmage attempting to get to level 3 should be a little bit shy here, short of any extra experience coming in from his opponent's army. Let's take a look at this. Archmage is going to be a bit shy. Vampiric Aura doing its thing, keeping the units alive a little while longer, as that Water Elemental taking way too much damage. And there you have it, a Panda now being picked up by Yumiko. Yumiko picking up that Panda. Alright, Footman quickly aggroed one of his own brethren units to try and make sure that the Troll Trapper did not target him. Very important there. Nicely done, as the Footman now with Vampiric Aura themselves, as the Panda picks up Scourge Bone Chimes. Archmage sitting back, relaxing. I guess shooting some bebop after some school. And what's going to see what's happening here as the Panda now makes its way over here to this green creep camp, which I believe is just going to be a giant waste of time, short of the Footman trying to get some extra hit points off of the Vampiric Aura. No, that's not going to be the case. They're going to be going after the Ogre Magi creep camp at the expansion here, and both sides are doing exactly that. Archmage now sitting at level 3, Mountain King sitting at level 1, not yet at level 2, and who's going to win out? Mountain King versus Panda. And I gotta say, if the game goes short, it's going to be because of that Panda. But if the game goes long, it's going to be because of that Mountain King. And the Mountain King will end up being stronger. Mountain King much stronger in the later game at higher levels. Panda starts to fall off once your opponent gets a lot of spell breakers. And that Mountain King who can Stormbolt and just feed back much of that mana damage. Alright, Panda now looking to recharge. He has a Pure Up of Vitality. And that Pure Up of Vitality going to be oh so strong, giving him a 1,000-point hero to just run into the fray. So level 3. Wow. Alright, level 3, as the Archmage now wandering back, does have a Clarity Potion and Brilliance Aura. Let's see what's going to be following this up. Mountain King still wandering around here, and where exactly is this Panda exactly looking to travel to? Archmage is strong as well. You can see that the Archmage now traveling off to the north, attempting to engage here, and there is a Stormbolt onto the Troll Berserker. The Footman now needs to back off. The Sorceress didn't get close enough to actually cast slow, as the Mountain King does have a fair bit of hit points himself with the help of a Belt of Giant Strength. Now, if the Mountain King can get to level 3, this next fight would be really interesting. But the Panda now going to be rushing in here, has a Wand of Mana Stealing, so he can actually steal mana away from that Mountain King as well, which more importantly denies a handful of Stormbolts. Alright, there you go. There's Slow being cast. The Panda now in a very forward position. What's going to be happening next? Slow now onto the Archmage. Is the Archmage going to be able to get away, as the Footman now trying to get up front? Alright, are we going to see a Breath of Fire? There's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire. A big amount of damage now coming in, as massive healing coming in for that Archmage. Thunderclap coming in from the Mountain King. Mountain King looking to go after some units. Unable to do so. Nope. Ends up getting the kill, and the Mountain King is now sitting at 3. Alright, Panda could try to get off another Breath of Fire here. There goes one Water Elemental. A second Water Elemental does not get taken down, as the Ogre Warrior Creep Camp and this Mercenary Creep Camp end up falling. So far, level 3 for Infi, level 3 for the both heroes. Meanwhile, we are having at level 3 as well, and all of a sudden, Infi has caught up, except for the fact that there is an expansion now coming into play on the bottom left-hand side. Mountain King runs on in, going to go after those units. There's a huge breath of fire right there once more, and the Panda could easily, yes, wand the mana stealing and takes away much of the mana of that Mountain King. The Mountain King pretty much down to 100 some odd mana, not going to be able to do much of anything else. He does get off a Stormbolt, but now he is officially out of mana, as the rest of these footmen perhaps now backing off. They do not want to get Breath of Fire at all, as the Archmage now in a little bit of trouble, now trying to get away. Archmage, Panda may use that Clarity Potion in a moment or give it to the Archmage, who needs more mana for Water Elementals. Meanwhile, Infi is bringing in Priest and Spellbreakers to the party to try and engage on this bottom left-hand position. No Guard Tower or Arcane Tower as of yet, and with that, I believe that Infi feels that right now is the opportune time to strike. If he can finish the game early, that would actually be really beneficial for Infi, since he knows that his opponent, or since we know that his opponent is currently mining away with an additional Town Hall, getting a lot of extra gold, but it really hasn't started to pay for itself. Rock Golem is about to fall. There is another Breath of Fire. They're onto some creeps, as we now see a Goblin Zeppelin being added, this time by... Goblin Zeppelin being added by Yumiko, and Yumiko is going to be very strong in this upcoming fight if he can perhaps micro this Zeppelin the right way. Archmage still sitting at 3, Panda still sitting at 3. Meanwhile, the heroes of Infi are sitting at 3, and I believe that is it. He may actually get to level 4 here, and will that make a big enough difference, especially with the Wand of Mana Stealing being able to deny mana onto that Archmage or that Mountain King. Arcane Tower is right there. All right, Troll Shadow Priest may try to go for an Abolish Magic, and does exactly that, Abolish Magic, but the Arcane Tower could have finished it off. We are now going into Ironforge Swords, as the Archmage is now seen at level 4 with the level 3 Mountain King. That is a lot of mana, as we now quickly see a Stormbolt go down. Mountain King has to be extremely careful. Spellbreakers breaking up any of that heal there, as we now see another Breath of Fire. All right, Panda stealing some mana once again. Are we going to perhaps see this one Mountain King fall? The Panda still trying to give chase, and so far it looks as though Yumiko is just in dominant control of the pacing of the game, and may be able to come out with the victory here if he is able to just catch his opponent off guard, and that may be exactly what is happening. Infi needs to use the Scroll of Town Portal. Oh, doesn't use it yet. There goes another unit. Archmage now trying to drop Water Elementals in on the other side. Should not have even bothered to bring back the units. Just run the Archmage in the opposite direction, and then Scroll of Town Portal him later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Please stay tuned for Game number 2.